Урок 6. Places and things. Места и неща като предмети, за това става въпрос. Тук имаме сравнителна степен на прилагателните. My favorite things. Which of these adjectives do you think go with the pictures? Discuss with a partner. Сега ще чуеме 6.1. Listen to Leroy. Which adjectives does he use to describe his favorite things? Кои прилагателни той използва, за да си опише любимите неща?
6. Places and things. Tape script 6.1. Unit 6. My favorite places and things. Tape script 6.1.
Welcome to another edition of
My
Favorite Things. Today in the studio we have cool
Welcome
R&B
to another
singer
edition of-
Leroy. Welcome, Leroy. Thank you for coming to talk to us about your favorite things.
Hi there.
So, Leroy, let's look at your list of favorites. Now, your first choice is the film star Al Pacino. Can you tell us about him? Why do you like him so much?
Well, every time I see Al Pacino in a movie, I think he's brilliant. He's just a brilliant actor. He's so talented. You know, he's been nominated 6 times for Oscars. But in fact, he's only won once, and that was years ago in 1993. I can't believe it.
Okay, and your next favourite thing is Arsenal Football Club. So you're a big football fan then?
Yeah, I am. I'm a London boy, you see, and I support my local team, which is Arsenal. They are fantastic players and always exciting to watch. I still go to a match whenever I can.
And now your number 3, soul music.
Oh, yeah, I'm crazy about soul music. You know, it's the reason I wanted a career in the music business. It's beautiful music, but can sometimes be very sad. It's where modern R&B music comes from.
Is that right? I didn't know that. Now, your number 4 is a food. Chicken satay. I don't know that. What's it like?
Oh, it's spicy and delicious. I just love sitting in front of the TV with a plate full of chicken satay. Mm-mm.
I must try it. And finally in your list you have Brave New World. I saw the film, but what's the book like?
It's an amazing book about the future. It's funny, sad and shocking. It's written by Aldous Huxley and it's my favorite book of all time.
Така, тук имаме за въпросителната дума what, при какви случаи се ползва. Сега имаме сравнителна степен. What's the London like? Good знаеме, че е неправилно. Good, better, the best. Сега ще чуеме 6.2 и ще направиме упражнението.
Script 6.2. 1.
What's London like?
Well, it's a really exciting city. There's so much going on all the time.
2.
What's the weather like?
It's okay, and not very cold in winter, but people don't come here for the sunshine.
3.
What are the people like?
They're very interesting. They come from all over the world. London's a very cosmopolitan city.
4.
What are the buildings like?
Fantastic. Lots of them are historical and famous, but there are some wonderful modern ones too.
5.
What are the restaurants like?
They're great. You can find food from every country in the world.
6.
What's the nightlife like?
Oh, it's amazing. There are so many clubs and theatres and, of course, the music scene is fantastic.
Така. Това ни беше 6.2. Втори въпрос. What's the weather like? Трети въпрос. What's the people like? Четвърти въпрос. What's the buildings like? Пети. What's the restaurants like? И последния. What's the nightlife like? Сега тук ще си запишеме complete the interview, след като го чуеме. ще трябва да попълним липсващите думи.
Tape script 6.3.
Do you travel a lot, Leroy?
Oh, yeah. I sing all over the world. Last year I was in Berlin, Tokyo, oh, and of course Detroit.
And what are they like?
Well, they're all big, busy cities. Tokyo's the biggest and the busiest. It's much bigger than Berlin.
And is it more interesting?
Well, they're all interesting, but in fact, for me, the most interesting is Detroit.
Really? Why?
Well, in some ways, perhaps it isn't as interesting as the other two cities. It doesn't have historical buildings or beautiful old Japanese temples. But you see, Detroit is the birthplace of soul music, and that's everything to me.
I see. So Detroit's best for music. And what about food? Which is the best city for food?
Ah, the food. For me, there's no question. Tokyo definitely has the most delicious food. I just love Japanese food.
I see. Is it even better than chicken satay?
Ah, I don't know about that.
Така, в А1 фактически ние учихме как можем да направим прилагателните имена в сравнителна и превъзходна степен. По тези, които са едносрични, виждаме tall, taller, tallest, old, older, oldest. Казваме George is younger than Jim и George is the youngest of all. Сега ще чуем listen and repeat the sentences. 6-4.
Tape script 6.4.
Tokyo's bigger than Berlin. Berlin isn't as big as Tokyo.
Сега ще чуем 6-5.
Tape script 6.5. Is Peter as old as you?
He's older than us, but younger than you.
Their teacher's funnier than ours.
Our lessons are more interesting than theirs.
6-6. Поемата.
Tape script 6.6. Poem.
Good, better, best. Never, never rest till your good is better and your better best.
Така, и сега ще чуем 6-7. Ще гледаме картинките. Ще чуем как се сравняват градовете.
Tape script 6.7. 1.
The Empire State Building is taller than the Eiffel Tower, but the Petronas Towers are the tallest.
2.
Monaco is smaller than Andorra, but the Vatican City is the smallest.
3.
The Atlantic Ocean is bigger than the Arctic Ocean, but the Pacific Ocean is the biggest.
4.
A human is faster than an elephant, but a horse is the fastest.
5.
A Porsche is more expensive than a Rolls-Royce, but a Ferrari is the most expensive.
6.
A shark is more dangerous than a lion, but a hippopotamus is the most dangerous.
Тук при двусричните имаме също как се образува. Правописните правила, къде се отвояват, когато има тези малките едносричните думи с две съгласни по средата гласна, последната буква се отвоява. Сега ще чуеме 6-8 и ще трябва да попълним този разговор.
Tape script 6.8. 1.
I moved to a new flat last week.
Oh, really? What's it like?
Well, it's bigger than my old one, but it isn't as modern, and it's further from the shops.
2.
I hear Alice and Henry broke up.
Yeah, Alice has got a new boyfriend.
Oh, really? What's he like?
Well, he's much nicer than Henry and much more handsome. Alice is happier now than she's been for a long time.
3.
We've got a new teacher.
Oh, really? What's she like?
Well,
I think she's the best teacher we've ever had. Our last teacher was good, but she's even better and she works us much harder.
4.
Is that your new car?
Well, it's second-hand. It's new to me.
What's it like?
Well, it's faster than my old car and more comfortable. It's more expensive to run. I love it.
Така, чухме разговора. Втория разговор. He is nicer than Henry. Третия. She is the best teacher. И четвъртия. Well, it's faster than my old. Сега трябва да поправиме тези изречения. He is more older than he looks. He is older, без more. Jessica is as tall as her mother. Трябва да бъде тук. What does New York like? It's really exciting. What is New York like? London is more expensive than, the University of Oxford is one of the oldest universities in Europe. The University of Oxford is one of the oldest universities in Europe. He isn't as intelligent as his sister. This is hard. This is harder than I expected. Who is the richest man in the world? Everything is cheaper in my country. Rome was hotter than I expected. Тук ще трябва да попълниме разговор. Сега ще видим listen to 5 people talking about the best things in their lives that are free. Listen, complete the chart, compare your answers. 6-9.
Tape script 6.9. The best things in life are free. Then.
The best thing for me is my dog, Jasper. He's a black Labrador, and he's great. I got him when he was a puppy, and I was 9, so we've grown up together. My uncle gave him to me for my 9th birthday, so he didn't cost anything. What's he like? Well, he's very loving. He's also a bit crazy and great fun to play with. He's much more energetic than me. I'm always really tired after taking him for a walk.
Mary.
Oh, there are lots of things I like that don't cost anything, I'm sure. Let's see. Sunsets. That's one thing I love. My house is on a hill, and in the evening, when I look out of my kitchen window, there's sometimes a beautiful sunset. It makes washing the dishes much easier. I also love getting phone calls and cards from my family. I suppose they cost something, but not to me. But actually, the best thing of all is my first grandchild. He's the most beautiful baby boy I've ever seen.
Michael.
I work in the city, so the best thing for me is being in the countryside. I don't mind what the weather is like. Even if it's rainy and windy, it's great to be outside. It's much quieter than the city, so there's time to think. Actually, the countryside costs money, because I have to drive there first. Okay, so the next best thing is going for a walk in the park near my flat after work. It's a lovely park with lots of trees and a small lake. It's the most relaxing way to end the day.
Laura.
Well, I think the best thing for me is playing with my little sister, Abby. She's nearly 4, so I'm much older than her. I've also got a brother, Dominic. He's 6, but he doesn't like the games I like, so he isn't as much fun to play with. Abby's always waiting for me when I come home from school. She thinks I'm the best person in the whole world. We usually play hospitals or schools. I'm the doctor or teacher, of course, 'Cause I'm the biggest.
Kira.
Definitely the best thing for me is being with my boyfriend, Dan. We don't have to go out or spend money. I love just going for a walk and chatting with him. He makes me laugh all the time. He's the funniest person I know, and the nicest friend. We've been together for nearly a year, and our relationship just gets better and better. I think I'm really lucky.
Ben, his favorite thing is his dog. He's great and he's loving dog. They grown up together. And is it free? Yes, the dog was free. Mary, best thing for her is sunset because it's very beautiful, and she likes very much her grandchild. Michael, the best for him is countryside. It's quieter than his town, and it costs what? It costs money because he has to drive to countryside. Laura, the best for her is playing with her sister Abby, and she make her lots of fun. And Kiara, for her, the best is her boyfriend Dan because he makes her funny, because he is a funny person. Exactly. Тук имаме още примери за сравнителна степен. Тук имаме за Лондон текста и да се поработи малко върху него. Тук имаме неправилните прилагателни, които трябва да се научат. Vocabulary. Сега ще чуеме 6.11 и ще попълниме думите.
Tape script 6.11. 1.
Look at all these new buildings.
Yes, Paris is much more modern than I expected.
2.
Wasn't that film brilliant?
Absolutely. It was fantastic. We loved it.
3.
Your bedroom's really untidy. Again.
What do you mean? It doesn't look messy to me.
4.
I couldn't believe it. Their son was so impolite to me.
Don't worry. He's rude to everyone.
5.
Dan doesn't earn much, but he's always so kind.
He is, isn't he? He's one of the most generous people I know.
6.
I'm bored with this exercise.
I know. I'm fed up with it too.
Първо Modern, второ Fantastic, трето Messy, четвърто Rude, пето Generous и шесто Fed Up. Това беше 6.11. You can also use antonyms in conversation to avoid repeating words. Listen and repeat 6.12.
Tape script 6.12.
Oh, my soup's cold.
I know. Mine's not very hot either.
Сега имаме reply to these questions in a polite way. Listen and check. Listen 14.
Tape script 6.14. 1.
Tokyo is such an expensive city.
Well, it's certainly not very cheap.
2.
Paul and Sue are so mean.
They're not very generous, that's for sure.
3.
Their house is always so messy.
I know. It's not very tidy, is it?
4.
That sales assistant was so rude.
She wasn't very polite, was she?
5.
Jim looks really miserable.
Yes. He's not very happy at the moment, is he?
6.
This exercise is so boring.
It's certainly not very exciting.
Разговор 15. Listen to a conversation between Rolf, John and someone who works in tourist office. What do Rolf and Jonas want to do? What problems are there? Тук ще трябва да попълниме думите.
Tape script 6.15.
Excuse me, could you help me?
Certainly, if I can.
We'd like to take a trip on one of those buses that show you all the sights. You know, where you can get off and back on where you want.
Ah, yes. You want a city sightseeing tour. It stops in 20 places and it costs €20.
How long does the tour take?
Well, it depends whether you get off or not. But if you stay on and don't get off, about an hour and a quarter.
Where can we buy a ticket?
Here or at the bus station. But you can't go on with your backpack.
Sorry? What did you say?
Your backpack, you know, your bag? It's too big. You have to leave it somewhere.
Oh, okay. No, don't worry, I'll leave it at the hostel. Thanks. Another thing, I've read that there's an exhibition of modern art on at the moment. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It's on at the studio until the end of next week.
How much is it to get in?
€12, but it's best to book a few days in advance.
Oh, that's a shame. We wanted to go tonight. Never mind.
Oh, and one more thing. I need to buy a present for my mother. It's her birthday soon. Is there a gift shop around here?
There's a good one just round the corner, but it's closed for lunch at the moment. It'll be open again at 2.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for all your help.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Тук имаме един хостел букинг, което ще рече, че можем да го попълниме. Примерно, Customer Details, тук гледаме от личната карта. Пише Rolf, First name, last name, Jürgen. Имейл, ето имаме го тук, този имейл може да си попълниме. Джендър е пол, мъжки или женски, значи мейл, тук на М. Phone number, nationality, European traveler, identity cards, booking detail, sightseeing, Queen's Theatre, money matters, good food guide, getting around. Това са брошури, които могат да се използват. Тук имаме Make questions. Как можем да питаме? Примерно, Where can I buy a new backpack? Къде мога да си купа нова раница? What exhibitions are showing this week? Какви изложби се показват тази седмица? Where is the nearest cash point? What does the metro stop running? What time does the metro? Where can I get something to eat? Къде мога да се нахраня? How long does the tour take? Колко дълго отнема пътуването? What plays on the week? Коя е пиесата на седмицата? It's a travel card for a week. How much is a travel card? Колко струва една карта за седмицата? За пътуване карта. Where can I get a battery for my camera? Откъде мога да си взема батерия за камерата? Is there a bar with live music? Това се става така. Има ли бар с жива музика? Това беше урок 6. Благодаря за вниманието.